Dr. Nathan Carter was a man of science. As a leading astrophysicist at the International Space Observatory in Seattle, his life revolved around numbers, data, and the mysteries of the cosmos. He spent his days studying distant galaxies, black holes, and wormholes, driven by an insatiable curiosity about what lay beyond the stars. Little did he know, his latest research had drawn the attention of beings far more advanced than anything he could imagine. It began subtly, a series of strange anomalies in the data from his latest experiment. Nathan had been analyzing patterns in cosmic radiation, hoping to detect signs of new wormholes. Instead, he found something else. At first, it seemed like interference, perhaps a malfunction in the equipment. But as the weeks passed, the anomalies became more distinct, almost deliberate. There were signals embedded in the cosmic noise, patterns that didn't match any known phenomenon. Late one night, as Nathan sat alone in his apartment, reviewing the data for the 100th time, the room filled with a strange hum. The lights flickered, and a soft, shimmering glow filled the space. Startled, he turned around and saw something, or someone, standing in the middle of his living room. The figure was humanoid, but otherworldly. Her skin shimmered like mother of pearl, and her eyes glowed a soft silver. She was tall, slender, and radiated a serene, ethereal presence. Nathan froze, his heart racing as the figure stepped forward. "Dr. Nathan Carter," she said, her voice melodic and soothing, "I am Seraphina, an emissary of the Illumi. We have been observing your work, and it has drawn our attention." Nathan blinked, struggling to process what was happening. His logical mind wanted to dismiss it as a hallucination or a dream, but the presence before him was too real, too vivid. He managed to stammer, "What are you?" Seraphina smiled gently. "We are an ancient race, explorers of the cosmos. We have watched countless worlds rise and fall, and now, we have taken an interest in yours. Specifically, in you." "In me?" Nathan asked, bewildered. "You have unlocked knowledge that could change the fabric of reality itself. Your research on wormholes and quantum mechanics has the potential to open doors that many across the universe wish to control." Her expression darkened slightly. "You are in danger, Nathan. You are not the only one watching the stars. Others have noticed you, and they are coming." A chill ran down Nathan's spine. He didn't know what to believe. Was this alien standing in his living room truly concerned for him, or was there something more to her cryptic warnings? Before he could ask more questions, the light around Seraphina began to fade. "I will return soon. Stay alert, Dr. Carter. The future of your world, and perhaps many others, depends on what happens next." And with that, she vanished, leaving Nathan alone in the dimly lit room, his mind spinning with the weight of what he had just witnessed. The universe had come knocking. The night after Seraphina's visit, Nathan lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, his mind racing. The revelations from the mysterious emissary echoed in his thoughts. Could it be true that his work had attracted the attention of alien civilizations? The idea was both exhilarating and terrifying. He tried to convince himself that it was all a dream, but the vividness of the encounter left him restless. The next day, Nathan returned to the observatory, determined to continue his research despite the lingering unease. He immersed himself in the data, searching for patterns and anomalies that might explain the strange signals he had received. But as he worked, an ominous shadow loomed over him, growing darker and more real with every passing moment. That evening, while walking home under the soft glow of streetlights, Nathan felt a sudden shift in the atmosphere. The air crackled with electricity, and an eerie silence enveloped the city. As he glanced up, a massive shape blotted out the stars, a ship, enormous and menacing, hovering above the skyline. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, sleek, metallic, and adorned with sharp angles that suggested it was built for war. Before Nathan could comprehend what was happening, the ship unleashed a torrent of energy blasts that tore through the streets, leaving chaos in their wake. He ducked into a nearby alley as debris rained down around him, heart pounding. The destruction was unrelenting, and panic surged through the crowd as people screamed and fled. "Nathan Carter," a voice boomed from the ship, deep and resonant. "Surrender yourself to the Xalnor Empire." The name sent chills down Nathan's spine. He remembered Seraphina's warning. The Xalnor were a ruthless race known for their conquests across the galaxy. They saw the universe as their playground, where power and domination were the ultimate goals. And now, they wanted him. Just as despair threatened to consume him, Seraphina appeared, a radiant figure amidst the chaos. Her presence was like a beacon of hope, and she raised her hands, summoning a shimmering barrier that protected Nathan from the incoming blasts. "They have come for you, Nathan," she said urgently, her eyes fierce yet compassionate. "You must trust me. We can't let them take you." The Xalnor leader, a colossal warrior clad in dark armor, descended from the ship. His crimson skin glinted under the city lights, and his piercing gaze locked onto Nathan. "You are valuable to us, human. You will unlock the secrets of the universe, and in return, we will offer you power beyond your wildest dreams." Nathan felt a surge of anger. "I'm not a tool for you to use." With that declaration, the battle erupted around them. Seraphina and her fellow Illumi fighters surged forward, their forms flickering like light as they clashed with the Xalnor forces. Energy beams danced through the air, illuminating the night sky. The fight was intense and disorienting, a chaotic blend of beauty and destruction. Nathan watched in awe as Seraphina moved with grace and precision, deflecting energy blasts and protecting those caught in the crossfire. She fought not just for him, but for a world that wasn't her own. In that moment, Nathan understood that he was not merely a pawn in a game of cosmic chess, he had become a focal point in a conflict that spanned galaxies. The stakes were higher than he had ever imagined, and as he took a deep breath, a newfound resolve washed over him. He couldn't allow his life, or the lives of those he cared for, to be dictated by others. He stepped forward, ready to stand beside Seraphina, determined to fight for his own future. The aftermath of the battle against the Xalnor left Nathan shaken but resolute. He had witnessed the chaos that ensued in the streets, the bravery of Seraphina and the Illumi, and the fierce determination of the Xalnor to claim him. But as the dust settled and the city began to recover, a new threat emerged, one that was far more insidious. Days passed, and Nathan attempted to return to his research, but the shadows of the previous encounters loomed large. Seraphina had become a constant presence in his life, appearing whenever he needed her, but there was an underlying tension. They both knew the Xalnor would not stop, they would regroup and strike again. Then, one night, as Nathan drifted into sleep, a different kind of presence enveloped him. He found himself standing on an alien landscape, vibrant and surreal, filled with luminescent flora and cascading waterfalls of liquid light. He felt a warmth enveloping him, almost seductive, pulling him deeper into this dreamlike world. From the shimmering mist, a figure emerged, a woman with emerald skin and glowing golden eyes. She moved with an elegance that was both alluring and dangerous. Nathan's heart raced. "I am Nairis, of the Xalcora," she said, her voice smooth and intoxicating. "We have been watching you, Nathan. You are exceptional, a beacon of potential, and we want to offer you something extraordinary." "What do you mean?" he asked, a mix of curiosity and caution bubbling within him. Nairis stepped closer, her gaze piercing through him. "The Xalcora seek to elevate those we find worthy. Join us, and we can unlock the secrets of the universe together. You could have power, knowledge, and desires fulfilled beyond your wildest imagination." She gestured to the dazzling landscape around them, a vision of endless possibilities. The temptation was overwhelming. Nathan could feel his defenses crumbling as Nairis painted a picture of grandeur, of a life without limitations. But deep down, he sensed something darker behind her alluring words. The Xalcora were known for their cunning, they thrived on manipulation and control. As if sensing his hesitation, Nairis leaned in closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. You do not need to suffer under the weight of the Xalnor or even the Illumi. They fight for you, but their intentions are not pure. You could have everything you desire, Nathan. Freedom, power, immortality, just say the word. But just as Nathan felt himself slipping under her spell, a flash of light illuminated the landscape. Seraphina appeared, radiant and fierce, her presence cutting through the haze of temptation. Nathan, she called, urgency in her tone. Do not be fooled by her words. The Xalnor do not offer what they promise. Their gifts come at a cost you cannot afford. With a jolt, Nathan woke up, heart pounding. The vision of Nairis lingered in his mind, a tantalizing echo of what could have been. He sat up in bed, realizing that while the allure of power and immortality was intoxicating, it was a path that could lead to his undoing. The next day, as he met with Seraphina at the observatory, he shared his experience. The Xalnor are dangerous, he warned, his voice steady. They want to control me, to manipulate me. Seraphina nodded, her expression serious. We must remain vigilant. The Xalnor are only one threat, but the Xalnor are far more cunning. We need to find a way to protect you from both. As they strategized, Nathan felt a new sense of determination. He was no longer just a pawn in an interstellar game. He was ready to fight for his own future, and with Seraphina by his side, he would navigate the treacherous path ahead, armed with knowledge and the strength of his humanity. The tension in the air was palpable as Nathan and Seraphina prepared for what was to come. The battles with the Xalnor had been fierce, but the insidious nature of the Xalnor loomed larger over Nathan's thoughts. He knew they wouldn't rest until they had him in their grasp, and he couldn't shake the feeling that a final confrontation was imminent. Days turned into a blur of planning and strategizing with Seraphina and her fellow Illumi. They gathered intelligence, mapping out the movements of both the Xalnor and the Xalnor, who seemed to be closing in on Earth. Nathan felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He was not just a scientist anymore, he was the focal point of a cosmic struggle. As the weeks passed, Nathan grew closer to Seraphina. Their conversations, initially focused on strategy and survival, began to weave in threads of personal connection. They shared stories of their worlds, their hopes, and dreams. Nathan found solace in her presence, her unwavering spirit igniting something within him. It was more than just a partnership formed in battle, it was a bond that transcended their differences. But Nathan couldn't ignore the ever-present threat. One evening, as they stood atop the observatory roof, gazing up at the stars, Nathan turned to Seraphina. What if we fail? What if the Xalnor or the Xalnor find a way to take me? Seraphina met his gaze, her silver eyes shimmering with determination. We will not fail. I believe in your strength, Nathan. You are more than just a human, you have the power to shape your own destiny. Her words resonated deep within him. He was beginning to understand that the true battle was not just against the alien forces but against the fear and uncertainty that threatened to consume him. With Seraphina at his side, he felt emboldened. But as if summoned by their discussion, a dark cloud of ships appeared in the sky, a fleet of Xalnor war vessels, accompanied by the shimmering forms of the Xalnor. Panic spread through the city as alarms blared and people rushed to seek shelter. Nathan and Seraphina stood firm, knowing they had to confront this threat head-on. We have to rally the Illumi and the humans, Nathan shouted over the din, if we stand together, we can push them back. As the battle commenced, Nathan felt the chaos around him. Energy blasts erupted, illuminating the night sky, and the air crackled with tension. The Xalnor charged forward with brute force, while the Xalnor used their cunning to manipulate the battlefield. But amid the turmoil, Nathan found his footing. He had been trained to understand the cosmos, to decipher the unknown, and now he applied that knowledge in real time, coordinating the defense with Seraphina at his side. Together, they guided the Illumi and rallied the human defenders, uniting them against the onslaught. In the heat of battle, Nathan's focus shifted. He wasn't just fighting for survival, he was fighting for something greater, his newfound love for Seraphina and the world they both wanted to protect. As the tide of battle turned, Nathan faced the Xalnor leader, the same colossal warrior who had threatened him before. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, Nathan felt the surge of humanity's spirit within him. "You will not take me," he declared, standing firm. With a final surge of energy, Nathan unleashed a wave of power he never knew he possessed, channeling the very essence of his humanity. The force rippled through the battlefield, scattering the Xalnor and sending the Xel'Kora into retreat. In the aftermath, as the dust settled, Nathan found himself standing with Seraphina, both battered but victorious. They embraced, their connection deeper than ever, forged in the fires of conflict. "You did it, Nathan," Seraphina whispered, her eyes shining. "You showed them the strength of humanity." Nathan smiled, realizing that together, they had forged a bond stronger than any battle. He had fought not just for himself but for a future filled with hope and love, a future where he and Seraphina could stand together against any threat the universe dared to throw at them. The stars above seemed to shine brighter, reflecting the triumph of the human heart.